Hey, yo, what's up? Holla at your boy, Fragrance Family, and welcome back to the Pastor Smell Good YouTube channel, where the scent is always lovely and the sillage is absolutely divine. I greet you guys in the name of peace, prosperity, and you know it by now, perfumery. I've come this way to discuss nothing else than the beautiful and the vast world of perfumery that you and I clearly enjoy so well. But before I get into the featured fragrance of today, I just think a shout out is in order. I want to shout out my brother, fan of the channel, Kelvin, for hooking your boy up and expanding my nostrils concerning the house of Bond number 9. Now listen, I thought I had a little bit of experience with Bond, but when that brother started sending me all of these samples and all of these decants, it just let me know how much I did not know. But I'm very appreciative to him for helping to expand my horizons with the company and to also give back to the community by coming back and sharing some information with you guys. So Kelvin, listen, today's shout out belongs to you. Thank you so very much. But the featured fragrance of today that we're going to talk about is going to be New York Musk by the house of Bond number 9. That's it, that beautiful green bottle with that gold cap, I believe. New York Musk. Now, let me tell you guys something about New York Musk. I was wanting to get my nose on this scent for a very long time. And I'm going to show you how long of a time I'm talking about. I'm talking about since back in the day when Kevin Samuels was strictly doing fragrance before he got into the whole scene of people dating and all of that. I'm talking about the Kevin Samuels that was begging to get to 10,000 subscribers. I'm talking about the Kevin Samuels that the world knew nothing about. Because I know when he started talking about the dating and all of that, he became very pulverizing. And I'm not here to talk about any of that. I'm just here to talk about Kevin Samuels prior to the dating consultations and stuff when he was just strictly dealing with fragrances. Because he was always a fan of the House of Bond number 9, more so than many others that enjoy this hobby. But also, Bowtie Fragrance Guy, he had released some content concerning Bond number 9's New York Musk, and I'll be honest, he piqued my interest as well. So to finally be able to get my nose on the scent and get some hands-on experience, it really means everything to me. So again, Kelv, shout out goes to you, man. But let's go ahead and get into this scent. Now, I'm gonna do a quick application again, because this has been my scent of the day. I'm gonna do another quick application of it as soon as I read off the notes to you, okay? But in this particular scent, you're gonna have notes of grapefruit, blackcurrant, nutmeg, musk, patchouli, and vetiver, okay? Those are gonna be the heavy hitters that are listed by Bond number 9. Now, Fragrantica also threw in a note, if memory serves me correctly, of osmanthus flower, okay? And I also would go even further to say Fragrantica threw in a sandalwood note. Don't hold me to it, but if memory serves correct me, those are the notes that I think Fragrantica went ahead and listed. But right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the cap off and I'm gonna just apply a little bit more of this, and maybe I can just get reacquainted for the sake of review. How about that? All right. Ooh. Sometimes when you put a fragrance on, guys, you got to do the smooth operator thing. So you can take in wafts of that bad boy. Y'all know what I'm talking about? So that's what I want to do. Okay. All right. So fellas, let's talk about what this fragrance does straight off the bat. Now, for me personally, I'm going to tell you that this fragrance opens up very bright and bitter. Now, let me tell you why it's going to open up bright and bitter. Because there is a juicy citrus component provided by the grapefruit. And if you eat grapefruit more so than smell grapefruit, you know that it can be very bitter at times, okay? Now, it's very reminiscent when I say juicy, because that's what I get from the line of Terre d'Hermes. The way they use that citrus note, it's just straight up juicy to me. But the differences in those iterations are that in the Parfum version, they provide the juicy citrus component, not from the orange and the tangerine or the clementine like the other scents, but they did it using that grapefruit note. Some of you may pick up some things that remind you of Dolce & Gabbana's light blue Eau Intense. in the opening, okay? Because that particular fragrance has an opening note of frozen grapefruit, which I really, really like and appreciate. So that's what gives me that bright, bitter component when it opens. But it's also fruity and green. Now, let me tell you where that comes from. The fruity greenness in the opening, straight off the bat, it comes from the black currant note. Black currant can come off as very sharp and green with a mix of fruitiness in it as well, which is why you pick up that note in fragrances such as, I want to say, Bond Number 9, Bleecker Street. I think there's a black currant note. A lot of people say it's grass and it's a bunch of blueberries. But however, it gives off that type of fragrance profile, okay, if you understand what I'm saying. I'm a fan of the black currant note in Amawage's Jubilation 25, okay? So there's a little touch of that black currant note coupled with that green sharpness that really introduces you to this scent as a fresh, invigorating, energetic type of green, okay? That's what I pick up in the scent. But there's also this noticeable but not pungent spiciness. So in other words, it's going to put a little bit of attitude on this scent. It's going to put a little bit of zap, a punch on it, if that makes any type of sense. But in the opening, it's very green and fruity with a little touch of spiciness, and I really, really dig it, okay? I like what's going on in this scent so far. But then as the fragrance comes into its own, because I don't think this scent does a lot of developing. I'm not going to say it's a straight linear scent, but it does something like this versus like that, if that makes any sense to you guys. It's not linear, but there's very, very little development. But what I can appreciate is when that nutmeg couples with that opening note, that patchouli is going to give this kind of dirty, minty sexiness to the scent, because that's what patchouli does for me. Patchouli always puts a sexiness, it puts a grownness, it puts a maturity on a fragrance, and I appreciate that, because I don't want to always smell juvenile. There are moments when I really want to smell my age. There are times when I'm dressed, going out with the wife, we going to a ball, we going to a banquet or something like that for grown folk, and listen, I want to smell like I look. I want to smell my age, and patchouli fragrances kind of do that for me. So it's like this earthy, dirty, minty, sexy, minty thing going on here. And when the fragrance rounds out into its own, the noticeable musk note is going to put a powderiness on the scent that's going to be reinforced by this, once again, green vetiver note. Now, I love vetiver. You guys know your boy is a fan of vetiver. I've been down with vetiver ever since I was turned on to vetiver. Some of my favorite fragrances feature the vetiver note. And if you know anything about vetiver, it's a type of grass, so it's green. So when you look at a picture like this, okay, guys, I think this is the best I can do. When you look at a picture like this and you see this fragrance has a green bottle with a green cap, sorry, not the gold one. When you see the green cap, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get a beautiful green powdery musk, and I'm really down with that type of stuff. Now, I think this scent is very safe, and the reason I think it's safe is because most people do appreciate the animalic touch of a musk in a fragrance. That's most people. But to show what type of job the perfumer did with the fragrance, that's very impressive to me, is the fact that this is a musk-dominated scent, and I like it. Because in some sense, it's so animalic and it's so pungent that I'm turned off. And a lot of times that happens in the base of a scent. But this one here, guys, listen, I'm satisfied with this particular scent, okay? So do I think it's worthy of a purchase? Yes, I do. Do I think it's worthy of a $440 purchase? Absolutely not. No, there is no way I would spend $440 on this particular fragrance. Now let's talk about why. Let's get into the performance of this particular scent. Is she beast mode? Is she gonna get up on off you? You know, is she gonna jump across the hallway at work and tell somebody good morning? No. She's a smooth operator. She's a smooth operator. She doesn't leap off of your skin, but if somebody were to come in for a hug or a halfway hug, or if somebody was to come up to your workspace, can they smell it? Yes, they could. Is the fragrance gonna leave this lingering sillage trail? No, it will not. I don't get that out of this particular scent. In terms of longevity, all right, on my skin, it's pretty laughable. Okay. Now keep in mind, I am spraying out of this versus a full bottle, so maybe my maybe my sprays are a little bit lighter than what they would normally be. But let me just be the one to say, I will not say that this fragrance is gonna last you an entire workday. And when I say workday, I'm talking at least the 8-hour mark. When I wear this to work, I've had to reapply. Okay. Now keep in mind, I'm in Louisiana. It's hot and it's humid. Those of you that may not deal with all of that humidity, maybe where you are, it's a little bit better. And hopefully for you it is. But I can only review it in my circumstances. Okay. As far as a compliment getter, does she garner a bunch of compliments off of my skin? No. I would say she's below average in terms of compliments. There are fragrances that I wear that stop traffic. There are fragrances I wear that make women clutch their pearls. There are fragrances that I wear where other men gotta compliment me. And you know how hard it is for men to compliment other men sometimes, but that's just how serious it is. But I don't really get that with this scent. But listen to Big Bro, y'all. When you are a hard-working man and you want to treat yourself and you want to spoil yourself, never get your fragrances for any other people other than yourself. Do we like to be told we smell good? Do we like to hear the compliments? Yes, we do. But when you're spending your money, fellas, make sure it's something you enjoy. And sometimes if the scent don't smell all that to other people, just them seeing your confidence will make them tell you something nice. Okay? All right. So as far as the occasions, this fragrance moves up and down with you. I would put this on for anything. I would put this on for anything. If you work in an environment where you don't want to come off as offensive, go ahead and put this on. If you're in a warm environment, go ahead and put this on. If you want to put this up with a level 2 or level 3 dress, put this on. If you want to wear this to go make grocery, put this on. Today, I got up, did a little business around the house, and then I had to go out of the house. I hopped in the shower, moisturized real good, had to go out to pick up kids and do this, that, and other. I put this on. And I was not dressed to kill, okay? Like you see, I had this on. And I enjoyed the experience. Matter of fact, I'm talking to you guys, and I'm really enjoying the scent right now, okay? So let's go ahead and rate this baby. Let's go ahead and rate her. If we had to put her at the free throw line in Game 7 of the playoffs, what type of free throw shooter is New York Musk? Out of 5 stars, that's all she can get. I'm going to go ahead and give her 3 out of 5, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and give her 3 out of 5. She's a 70% free throw shooter. I'm not going to put her at 75. I'm not going to put her at 80. Yeah. I'll say it like this. She won't lose the game, but she not your best shooter at the line. That's all I'm going to tell you. Okay? She's not Shaq, but she ain't Reggie Miller either. Okay? So find somebody a little lower than Reggie, or maybe a lot lower than Reggie, and you can go ahead and rate her here. I think Miller shot at 88% when he was playing. The brother was cold. Free throw line. Okay? So those are my views on this scent. For a point of reference, let me tell you what this fragrance reminds me of. Not in total scent profile, but in the fresh, clean, energetic deal. It reminds me of Mugler's Pure Energy, at one time known as Pure Shot before Oscar Pistorius got caught up in that mess. Okay? But that's kind of like a reference point. Like, that's how juicy and fresh and watery and reinvigorating the scent comes off to me. I would put it close to Mugler's Pure Shot, Pure Energy. No pun intended. All right. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review for today. That's all I have for you today. I got to get ready for class in a couple of minutes, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. Talk back to me in the comment section. Let me know if this is a scent you would like to get your nose on. If you've owned a bottle now or previously, go ahead and tell us about that in the comment section. Big Bro wants to hear about that. Let me know what your experience are. How do you dress it? How do you dress it down? How do you dress it up? Let's get a conversation going about Bond Number 9's Pure Musk. And I got a whole lot more Bond Number 9 to talk to you guys about. All right? Till we meet again, take care. Holla at your boy.